How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Fire Chat podcast for another episode. Today I have Miss Caitlin Weaver,
hello,
my beautiful girlfriend, on the show. Welcome, Caitlin.
Thank you so much. Sitting comfy.
Yeah, so if you guys didn't notice and you're longtime listeners, longtime watchers, we got some fancy new couches,
Very
new
nice.
chairs. We were tired of sitting on the other ones, and these are a lot more comfortable. So
Yes.
let us know what you think. We're a little, at least I am. I kind of cut the camera so it would be, right off my gut there. So I've been working on that. So Caitlin, welcome back to the show. First time for the new year. You haven't been on the show
Thank
this
you.
year.
I know it's been a year.
It's been a year.
No, I mean, like you said, we've been focused on this FIREfast Boot Camp, and we haven't had a chance to really record new content. But we have extras coming out soon.
So what is this boot camp you're talking about?
The FIREfast Boot Camp is basically run by the three instructors, Rich Rice, Evan Brown, and Jim Keller. If you haven't heard about it, it's basically just a boot camp to get to your next deal. Keeps you accountable, shows you different strategies along the way. But in totality, you ultimately have to be the one taking action, doing the work, either door knocking, driving for dollars, skip tracing, making the calls, contacting the heirs, whatever it is to get you to your next deal. So it's been really helpful for me, keeping me accountable, just remembering different strategies on how to build your funnel and your pipeline for this entire year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we talk a lot about, we talk a lot about funnels, about, keeping that lead volume going, right? And why is that so important?
You're building your business. I mean, in any business, there's certain ways you're going to get your sales or, your clients, whatever you want to call them. In real estate, it's how you get your properties.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the main goal, is how to build your business the best you can, whether you're paying for marketing or whether you're bootstrapping it in the beginning, meaning you don't really want to spend a lot of money up front. You just have to do more work up front. Meaning taking pictures of properties, keeping lists of hundreds of properties, lists of hundreds of contacts. We have Facebook, so we have thousands or hundreds of Facebook friends. And it's ultimately up to us how we're going to do that. And the number one way we've been doing it is just contacting people we know. And maybe they'll text us tomorrow, maybe they'll text us in 6 months, but at least they know now that you can help with a solution to somebody's problem. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. Cause it's, like you said, it's super important you want to do, some people call it funnel, deal flow. There's lots of names for it, but it all comes down to, like you said, those sales tactics, and not like trying to sell people anything, just the sales fundamentals of, you have to be building a funnel that, at all times, really, like you need, and you have that bell curve, the 80-20 rule, again, there's different names for it, but you got 100 leads that come in, or 100 people that say, yeah, maybe I want to sell my house. 20 of those people you'll probably end up setting appointments with, and then 20% of those people, so 4 of those people will actually, move forward, and then, maybe you get a deal out of that. So it's
numbers game.
It is a numbers game.
Yeah.
It is a numbers game. And there's things that's part of what the boot camp we're talking about is, there's ways you can pump those numbers up, not get those rookie numbers, but there's ways to pump those numbers up. So, we talk a lot about rapport building and, all kinds of stuff.
Just listening to people, really.
Solving problems, right?
Yeah. The number one thing you can't teach is rapport, how to build rapport, how to truly listen to people, care about what it is that they're saying, and really focus on a solution. It's not just about buying the house. There's many, many different ways on how to build relationships with people.
Yep.
and they're going to be the ones that remember you
Yep.
in the long run.
Yep. A lot of people just want to jump to that. Like, well, how much you want? Like I'll offer you this. And I mean, you could do that. I think honestly, when you do that though, and I think that's when you end up getting to more that traditional bell curve of you're just blowing through, making offers, yes or no, and then moving on with your day. And I think if you really sat down and try to understand the problem and build a rapport with people, and
it's not just black or white. It's not just yes, I want to sell, or no, I want to sell. It may start out as a no, and they might come back later and be ready. So like you said, it's not black and white. There's so much in between that you have to figure out. And a lot of people are afraid of change. A lot of people are scared of, well, where am I going to live? What am I going to do? Even though, they might be in a situation where they can't really live at where they're at. It's to the point where they can't really live where they're at and they don't know where to go from there. So sometimes you step in and you're that solution and you really do save them. You really do make a big difference.
Yep. Let's talk about John, over in Muscoy. So, perfect situation, or not perfect situation, but perfect example of the situation you're talking about. Yep. John was somebody that called us, and he had basically late stage prostate cancer. And poor guy, he'd found out he had basically, they'd given him like 2 years max to live. He came home with the news and found his wife of 43 years or something like that had left him a note on the table and said, later, I want half of everything in the house when you sell it. And like what do you even do? Like, so just a guy that just had, he had squatters in his backyard and friends that were kind of leeching off of him for years, and he didn't know what to do. I mean, he didn't know what to do, and he called us. This is a deal I did with we did with my stepdad Evan, and Evan put together most of this deal, or all of the deal really, and then we're handling kind of the project as of now. But when he originally when he was in, like I said, he was in a situation where he had late stage prostate cancer. He didn't want to move. He didn't want to leave and try and find. He couldn't move. I mean, he has his days where he can't even get up and out of bed, and he has his days where he can walk around a little bit.
Or days where he rides his Harley Davidson.
Yeah, but I mean, he didn't have his Harley, so like the guy just wanted to sell his house. He wanted to basically, live the rest of his life in his house, but he had no money. I mean, he was in debt up to his, his eyeballs. He had to get people that were, mooching off of him. Yeah, and so we ended up structuring a way that he sold us the house, and we did basically like an owner rent back. Where he prepaid us $1,000 a month. Rent in that area is like $2,500 for the houses he's in. Rent back for $1,000. So we closed escrow. He wrote us back a check in escrow for $24,000. So 2 years of rent at $1,000 a month.
To help him out.
He can stay there. And then so he netted like, I don't know, over 150,000 or whatever off the sale, and he immediately went out.
Immediately spent it all.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if he spent all of it, but a lot of it.
A lot of it.
He went out and bought a truck. He bought like 2 Harleys. But I mean, the guys, what would you do if you had two years left? If you had 2 years left, and I mean, they're telling him that's like on the good, the good side of things, more likely it's not going to be that long. He went out and bought a Harley and bought some toys and, had his stress relieved on the house, and he had to send his wife half of whatever it was. Man, I can't imagine that, but
he's doing.
Now he's doing it.
He's doing what makes him happy, and that's honestly probably what's keeping him, going, because he went and found. Yeah. He went and like did his passion, he has a passion for bikes, a lifted truck, so it's just remembering the little things that matter
Yeah.
Makes a big
well,
difference.
And back to what we were talking about too, like if we would have just called him, or so let's say he got our postcard, or because I think we did. I was driving for dollars. We'd send him a postcard on Deal Machine. And if you want to check out more about Deal Machine, there's a link in the description here. But we sent him a postcard. We drove for dollars in the neighborhood, took a picture of his house, sent him a postcard. And if we would have just picked up that phone and been like, "Oh, that's great, John. How much you want for your house?" I don't know if it would have gone as well, because it wasn't that simple. It wasn't just that he wanted.
He didn't want to really sell his house because he knew his wife would get half.
Yeah,
he knew that he didn't. He wanted to stay there.
Yep.
That's the thing, is every situation's different, and luckily, we have an open mind, and we're able to come up with a solution. That helped him.
Yeah. Now we're working. We're working on the front house. He's in the main house, and it's been about a year now.
Almost a year, yeah.
And there's some days. Some days I'm surprised to see him walking. There's other days where I'm like not sure if I'm gonna walk in and find him still alive. Like it's really sad, but I mean the guy is really fighting, and still enjoying his life. And so we're working on the front. We finished the front house, and then he's in the main house. So we're figuring out what to do with him. If I think we ended up we made a deal at Exchangers, our one of our deal making events that we do every Wednesday from 12 to 2. We did a deal at Exchangers to acquire a 27-foot travel trailer that's in really good shape. So we're actually going to probably put that in the back of the property, move John into that one, and then keep working. So we'll keep working on the main house.
Yeah.
And then, someday we'll probably rent the trailer out also, or who knows, but, that's the plan there. So anyways, like we were kind of led us down this path was that, like I said, it's not just about the money for people. It's not just about price. It's some people have real problems. And it's your job to figure out, how to help them best.
Yeah.
Sometimes come after, see what they want, what they need, versus it might not always be money. It might be just somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
And come up with a different solution. Because if he would have put that house up on the market, what family of, family of 5 or whatever wanted to move in was gonna
let him live
let him live in the back house or the main house on the property still until he passed away.
Yeah.
It's just like that wasn't gonna happen. So so people that think that we're going in and just sometimes people think that flippers or investors are just going in and taking all the houses away from the normal people. Like it's usually not the houses that the mom and pop are after. It's those don't make sense for us. It's the ones like this that
truly need our help.
People need help, and there's a lot of work. You can't get bank financing on any of that stuff. So anyways, so Caitlin, you've been in the club now for over a year.
Yeah, over a year.
So
as of November. Yeah.
So what do you think? What is the future of Caitlin Weaver and the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club look like?
It's looking great. There's a lot of major things happening, a lot of major changes happening. Just being around people that are like-minded and that are doing it, I'm very grateful for. And just, being around the experience that I hope to, be like one day. And like I said, it's also helps with accountability, because there's only so much we can do, staying disciplined and doing what we can. But being around people that are like truly there for you, truly there to help, they're coaching you. There's nothing really like it. But super excited for everything in store this year, especially in 2024. We're going to have a lot more classes this year. Mm-hmm. So I'm really excited about that because that's going to kind of bridge the gap between the experience, getting started, the starters in the investment world, and then kind of planning for the estate building part of my, my business. Really trying to build right now. I know it's not going to come easy. It's not going to happen overnight, but just setting the intentions of certain numbers of what I want and, making it happen. So excited about that.
Awesome. Yeah. But, man, I'm loving these chairs, by the way.
I'm so comfortable right now.
We used to, like I said, we had they were nice chairs, like banquet chairs kind of thing.
Yeah.
But sit them straight, like at a table, wasn't nearly as, I feel like we're vibing a lot more in these.
It's a lot more casual, a chill conversation.
It's more relaxing.
Yeah, exactly.
Plus it's easier to move around with all the equipment and everything.
I definitely like it without the table here. I mean, the only thing is we have to find a table for our drinks here.
That's going to block the, no, that'd be right.
Oh, block the fire? Yeah, it's right here. Cool.
Oh, it's warm back there. Oh.
We're getting toasty.
All right. So like you said, we're going to do a lot of classes. We got
Goodwin.
We got a lot of coming up.
We have Rich Rice. We have Lenny the Boss, which is coming in February.
Mm-hmm. And
that's going to be education for juniors. It's called Junior Investors and
5th to 9th graders.
Yeah, 5th to 9th graders. As much as people say like, oh, I don't know if they're going to be old enough to remember it or retain it, I'm letting you know now it's imprintation. So as soon as you imprint something in a kid's mind, the more likely it is to last. Trust me on it. They might not remember everything in the beginning. They might not be interested in the beginning, but they're going to remember that class that they took when they were in 5th grade or 8th grade or, right around the youth, right when they start realizing, why am I going to school? What am I really doing? But also being able to enjoy their youth. We don't get taught real world stuff in school, especially about like what we really need when we graduate high school, like credit, certain things like that, how to save money in general, budgeting. If I would have known all this, I would have definitely started saving money at a younger age. I did save money, but I never really had the intention of saving money. I'm lucky enough that my parents built my credit for me by adding me to one of their credit card accounts. But after that, I just went to college. I wasn't interested in investing yet. I wasn't interested in.
Yeah. And how do you we don't have kids, so it's
we have little cousins and little nephews.
Yeah, but if I think back to there's definitely times I can remember sitting in like college finance classes, where I wish I would have paid attention a little bit better. And a lot of it was like around, business finance and
that's what I was gonna say. It was business finance,
but there was like some,
it did teach you.
I remember one of my teachers, saying like, it was something to the effect of like, you can learn about the economics and the accounting and blah, 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 but it's the finance ones that really run the world, and something like that. And he wasn't wrong. Obviously the banks run the world, right? And, and, the money talks kind of thing. So, but how do you, my point of all this is like, how do you get that through to a kid? Like, just kids in general, I guess. Like, because you could say, brush your teeth, or you're gonna, like how many times, right? Like how many times can you tell, were you told as a kid, like brush your teeth, or you're gonna get, and you're like, yeah.
I listened. I didn't want cavities like my parents. I really didn't. One cavity I had, I was in pain. I never wanted them again. I brushed my teeth.
Somebody tells you like, don't look into the sun, and you're like.
No, I think that I truly like psychology. I like studying children development, and psychology, and we're all humans here. Even though we're adults, we still have parts of ourselves that are gonna still be instilled in our youth. And it's just like auto suggestion. The more you see it, the more you're gonna remember it. And it's up to you. It is, you're right. It's up to you whether you're going to listen and not look at the sun, or whether you're going to look at the sun.
So are you saying, like, even if they don't necessarily like love it immediately, or they don't, they don't all run out of the room going like, oh my God, let's go invest, that it's still just that the power of that suggestion and putting it into their mind.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The mind is most imprinted on, like, I think from age like 7 to 15, something like that. But I mean, just even, I'm thinking of an example watching the testimonials. Like, there's kids saying, I want to be successful because I want to get my 30-foot yacht. I want to be successful because I want to get my video game console. It doesn't have to be, I want to buy a house right away. It's just instilling those dreams and those goals in them, that they know they have to work hard to, or listen or take classes like this in order to get what they want. So even if it's about video games, boats, houses, cars, it's just changing the mindset, because school doesn't teach us to invest in wealth or how to build wealth, anything like that. School doesn't teach us to keep our dreams alive.
Be a good worker.
Yeah. So, like, teaching kids, keep that dream alive, believing in them. We've got to maintain an abundance mindset too. So if you're already thinking, oh, my kids aren't going to retain it, well, then they're not, because it's all in the mindset of what you're manifesting or suggesting. I believe in it, and it's, maybe we have to remember, what we're thinking as well. If you believe your kid's going to remember and they're going to succeed, and they're at least going to keep that dream of, like, yeah, I want to get that video game or whatever it is, or maybe they're into art. Maybe they're more of an artist and they're not, like, logical. They don't really like numbers. It's teaching them, okay, so what do I need to do to become free to just draw or paint for the rest of my life?
Yep.
And that's how I was. Like, I grew up playing piano and singing, and then I just did soccer instead. But I always knew I wanted to become financially free, because I want to have my own recording studio. I want to make my own music. But I knew I couldn't do that until, money was being made while I was, off scene.
Yeah.
But, it's all in the perception of the mind. Same with kids. That's just what I believe.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think you're right. I mean, there's lots of things that were impressed into my brain, as a kid, that,
yep.
I still remember, or still,
I remember.
Even subconsciously.
You can.
Subconsciously. It's the positive version of subconsciously.
Subconsciously, I love it. No, you're 100% right. I still remember a lot of things in my childhood, especially around, like, high school and middle school. About just growing up, had dreams, and people didn't believe in my dreams.
Oh, well, I believe in them now.
Yeah. Like, how I'm going to be a millionaire.
There you go. Millionaire by 30, right?
Yep. That's still the goal. That's
how
still
far
the
you
goal.
got? How much you got left?
Well, in wealth building, I'm about third there.
A third there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a long way to go.
Well, I mean, shit. California. I forgot. I can't say that on here. I'll have to bleep that one out. In California, yeah, about 4 houses. 4 paid off houses will make you a millionaire.
That's my goal. My goal is to get 2.
3
this year.
Houses will make you. So you are a third. So just pay off your one house.
I'm 27. I'm going to be 28 this year. I better have 2 houses this year. Mm-hmm. Then I'll have 2 more next year and 2 after that, and then I'm good.
Sounds like a plan. But, the inflation and stuff, though, like $1 million, 2 million is a new million. So you really need to get to 2.
Really, it's going to be 10.
All right, you heard it here. 10 million. 10 million by 30. What is it, 30 under 30, or what's that?
But who knows? If I would have learned about this when I was a 5th grader, I probably would have been there by now. By the time I was 23.
Right, yeah.
I bought my first house at 22, 23. And if I would have been buying before that, I would have been there by now.
And you beat me. I bought my first house at Well, yeah, bought my first rental house, 33.
Hey, 10 years
32,
apart, babe.
something like
Good.
that. Something like that. You are 10 years ahead of me in life and wisdom.
Oh, quiet. Hey, man, I try to be open-minded, and I do believe in, I want to help the next generation. That's one of my big goals in life. You know, of course I'm building wealth and stuff, but
Justice.
since we're going to edit this out anyway, we're good.
Yeah. I don't want to edit it. Why?
No, I'm saying
Is it here?
you're going to have to, no, I thought I saw a truck.
Oh,
drive
we're
by
waiting for
earlier.
her. Show them your cell phone again.
Oh, I don't know. It won't turn on.
So she was filming some cooking videos.
Like, look,
the other day.
it will not turn on.
Yeah, and her
The only
screen's
way
all
I turn
busted
it on
and-
is it just blinks down here. Is
Yeah,
if I plug it in and it pops up and then I have to
or if
catch
somebody
it.
calls her that she gets like half her screen. So she's intently waiting. This is why we're hanging out today. Where she's intently waiting for the FedEx guy to get here with her new Galaxy 23 Plus. Did you get the Plus or the Ultra? What did you end up doing?
I think I got the plus.
The Plus. All right.
Speaking of which, I
What?
forget who reminded me last night. They're like, "Oh, you better get a phone case." I need to get that on Amazon.
Oh yeah, you could do it fast enough. You could probably get it delivered one day.
Okay.
So, anyways, back to the broadcasting here. So, on that note,
29 minutes.
you like to cook, huh?
Yes, I do. My good friend Yesenia Lopez that I met through the club. I have a couple friends named Yesenia, but in the club. But no, she's funny. We got to see her at the Tribe building event last night. That's actually why my voice is a little raspy, because I was like yelling, talking, because it was so loud.
Talking to
There was a lot of
80
people here
last night.
Yeah, it was a really
know?
great turnout. But anyway, yeah, she always brings up about my cooking because we'll post videos or whatever. She's like, "Oh man, I love that you love to cook and everything." And then she told me, she's like, "And I can't believe someone said they can't believe you like cooking just because they don't like to cook." I'm like, "Yeah, you
Who
know
said
what? It's not it's not for everybody. It's really not." I grew up in a household where my mom didn't really cook, but my dad did. So I learned, and my grandparents. So I learned a lot of my cooking from my grandparents and from my dad. So I'm still just learning different cuisines in life, you know, like my mom was one of them. She just didn't like to cook. She grew up in a family of 12. So she took care of all her, and she was the oldest
I thought she would have been cooking.
sister.
That's crazy.
Well, that's the thing, is she cooked for all her brothers and sisters. She took
So
care
now
of
she
them.
doesn't- yeah, she's like, I'm done.
She was the first generation to get, you know, have work, and she bought them like a dryer because they used to just hang dry their clothes. Just a lot of differences in you know, that generation versus ours. You know, so I understand if people don't like to cook, because my
Well,
mom
your
doesn't.
mom's, your mom was that your grandma was first generation that came here, right?
Yes.
You know,
Yes. My grandma was the first generation that came here. My great grandma is also still out here, and she's still alive. I believe she's 94 years old, which is so we have 4 generations. Like, we have a picture of like my great grandma, my mom, and me. We need to redo that pic, you know, because it's only.
All right, we got to hurry up and have
Gotta
a
have
kid
a baby
so
girl.
We can we get the 5 generations in there.
That's our cats.
There
I
you
got
go.
it.
There you go. That's funny.
No, but yeah. So I mean, bringing that up, you know, I'm open. I'm an open book. Speaking about it is like, you know, I come from parents that, you know, they're from a different generation. They had to work their way through different things than I did. I was pretty privileged and lucky in the life that I had. I didn't have a lot of brothers and sisters. I have 2 brothers. I did good in school, so I played sports, and, you know, I pretty much worked my way to what I wanted. My dad said, if you get good grades, you know, you work hard, then you'll get what you want. I'm like, okay, great. So I did. And, but it's just the difference of the generation. You know, my mom didn't have that. My dad didn't have that. He went to 12 different schools when he was a kid.
Dang.
So it's not something he's proud of or anything, But basically, yeah, he moved like every year of school. So
Wow.
his number one goal in life was to make sure that me and my brothers went to one school district and grew up in one area. So we never moved.
That's cool.
And you know what's funny is my dad has pretty much been a real estate investor my whole life, even though he doesn't really know it. He's always been a housing provider. He's had tenants. He basically
he's owned different buildings and different.
Yeah, he owns different buildings. He owned
what, a threeplex or fourplex down in San Bernardino?
He owned a duplex. Yeah. Oh man, I wish I would have bought that from him. See, if I would have known this earlier, I would have bought it.
Yeah, when did he sell it?
Kidding. He sold it in like 2018, 2015. Yeah. Like right when I was graduating high school. So I could have probably bought it or right before I graduated high school. Because I went to school, at San Bernardino Valley College, and then I went to Cal State San Bernardino. So I could have stayed in that house and went to school.
Yep.
But my life would look a lot different. So I believe everything happens for a reason. I can't say, coulda, shoulda, woulda. I could only move forward from here and do what I can moving forward.
Yeah. So does your dad still own some property that you can buy from him?
Yes. Yeah, I actually.
That sounds like a good lead.
Yeah, I talked to my parents, or I talked to my dad into getting a living trust because he did own a lot of property back in 2020 is when I was really a stickler. I said, look, Dad, you need to get a trust. I'm not, main thing is because my parents aren't married. So if anything were to happen to my dad, that my mom would not, it wouldn't be easy for everything to transfer over. It would go through probate. And I think it's super important to just be aware of that. And, even though my dad's bought and sold a lot of houses, he's had many investment properties. He's done a lot. He's not thinking about that. So I made sure that he had that done before I could move on really from working in the family business. But so now all his properties are in a living trust. Everything transfers over to his beneficiaries and we're good.
Good job.
Yep. He has one full-time rental still, or I guess two. And then he has his primary house. And we also have a desert house and stuff. So
I don't know. And your grandpa's got some your dad's side of the family's been pretty well established here. Everybody's got.
My grandpa owns his own packaging company, and he lives in he has a house in Lakewood that's probably worth $1 million, and then he bought it back in like the 80s.
Yeah, for like 120 probably.
Probably for like 89,000, and then he owns some desert houses. He owns his own company, and he just bought a house in Alabama, and that's where he's going to retire. It's so funny. My dad bought up in the Crestline area because he thought my grandpa was going to retire there, and now he's retiring in Alabama.
And your dad doesn't seem like he's going to Alabama.
Nah. They are established up there now, so
yeah, that was your mom's business.
Now
why would you want to rebuild a whole business, and especially insurance?
They
in Alabama.
Once they retire, they're not going to be working, so it doesn't matter anymore. Yeah. But I doubt my mom's ever going to stop working. She's a worker bee.
Yeah.
But trying to partner with her maybe soon. But yeah, my dad has some houses that I could probably, like, once he becomes a tired landlord, I'll just be like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
And
he's got one more in Crestline, or?
Yeah, he has one in Crestline, two in Crestline.
Really. Yeah, three. Well, three. Right?
Just two.
Well, if you include the building the insurance company's in.
Yeah, just that one and the one other. And then one that he lives in.
Yeah, so you got three houses. He's got three properties.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. I was like, wait, I'm doing the math right? So
technically it's Cedar Pines Park, but yeah.
Oh, well,
But anyway.
Other than the people that live in Cedar Pines Park, nobody cares.
It's the CPP.
Nobody cares. It's all Crestline, the greater Crestline area. We're just going to annex CPP and Twin Peaks.
People in CPP care because we have to pay like private water shares. So it's like, you ain't paying the shares, you ain't CPP.
Yeah, if you ain't getting screwed on the water bill, you're not in CPP.
Pretty much, everybody. So that's a little rundown of Crestline, and you want to get that in case it's FedEx?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, it's a Zillow lead. They got us.
Click.
By the way, everybody, if you're trying to rent a property and you
Well,
know,
let's not even go to the people trying to rent a property. Let's go with the people
landlord
trying to rent the property. So
Yes.
I don't really talk to anybody unless they answer
qualifying questions.
qualifying questions. Mainly, what is their estimated credit score and how much is their monthly income? Because people never read the description that has all of that information in it, and they'll either message me and say, "Can I come see it?" or they'll call me and want to ask all these questions, and they're not even qualified to rent the place. And so, I mean, it might sound a little odd, but I don't even answer the Zillow calls. I just stay in there strictly. Don't call me. Answer these questions through the message service, and and I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
And that might be, obviously, yes, I have been a housing provider in a up and good market. Pretty much all the time I've been a housing provider. So, if that ever changes to, I guess the one property I have listed right now, isn't exactly flying off the shelf. So, maybe I should answer those. But
that's
still,
the
I
only
get people
one you
that
have
are
listed. Yeah, you probably should.
Yeah, but it's the same thing though. It's like I'm not gonna waver on the requirements just to get the place rented.
No.
Unless
Never
it's
do
like I've
Unless they're
everything's
like right
vacant
there.
and I'm just trying to survive and fill the spots. So at the moment I'm not there. So
No. Not there yet.
we got lots of options too.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll just end up moving. We'll see.
Yeah. So if you're thinking about becoming a housing provider, or you maybe already are, and you just want some extra tips and tricks on, how to lease people up, how to screen people, whatever it is, everybody's different.
Mm-hmm.
We always say find the ways that work for you. But in doing this for a while, I've had a unit that just has not rented either, and you definitely want the people that are the most professional, most respectful, and and then you just go from there. Like,
yeah, it seems like such common sense too. But I hear stuff from housing providers and landlords and people that maybe were in the past and they're just didn't go well for me, and and I've heard of people like just go with your gut, and see if people are good, and I don't know, like I think people are really good at talking. Some people are really good at talking and selling you, and oh no, we'll pay rent. We've always paid rent. We've never missed anything. But our landlord wants us out in 2 weeks, and because they're selling the place, and and we don't have anywhere else. And it's like, if things were going, like, I would never do that to anybody. And I know a lot of, like, if I was going to sell the house, I don't know if I would ever just say, yeah, you got to be out in 2 weeks. I'm selling the place, or 2 months, or whatever, whatever legally in California, it's 2 months, but
yeah,
people tend to wait till the last minute or something. I would, if I had an awesome tenant that had been with me for a long, long time, and I wanted to sell the place, like, I would make sure those people were taken care of. And most of the landlords and housing providers that I know would say the same thing. Like, they wouldn't just, so I get these like sob stories from potential residents, and I'm just like, that is like my biggest red flag is the
because they think you're gonna like waver, and unfortunately some people do.
Yeah.
But we don't want to learn the hard way.
So I'd rather the place be vacant than pick somebody that is not
the right fit.
Is not the right fit, or not the right fit. That pick somebody that's not qualified. Like, that's lower the requirements to a point that I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it.
It's all about risk, tolerance in anything.
In the state of California, you're required to pick the first most qualified person over your, that meets your requirements.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have those requirements, stick to them, no matter, as much as you can. Obviously everyone's situation is different. If you're about to lose the house because you need to get it rented, that's maybe, then you roll the dice.
Different situations.
But unless you're in that kind of pickle, just hold fast, I would say. But, I know that's not always option, especially, if the economy turns and, the market turns, and, all of a sudden it's tough to rent. And even giving away a couple months free or something isn't working. And, you're about to lose a place or lose another place because you're upside down, that is a different story. But in a good market and good, good times, good market kind of thing, definitely, like I said, I'd rather have it vacant than have somebody in there that's not qualified and gonna potentially be a way more of a headache than having an empty place.
Yeah, because you never know. It might cost you more to have them in there because everything, everything's on us to repair. No, yeah. So we're definitely learning things. But also you got to know your market. So we knew that these particular units and their rent range.
Yep. They're two outliers for us. They are two outliers.
They're outliers for us.
Not our normal.
And we knew that going in.
They're not our normal. Yours is
mine's the low end.
on the lower.
Yours is on the high end.
I wouldn't say low end, just like because that seems like
I'm sorry, the low price end.
Like it's
a nice. It's like high end, but
it's small. It's 220, 250.
It's like 300 square feet.
300 square feet.
It's just a studio.
It's just a studio. But it's small enough. If it was 400 square feet, 500 square feet, it's just like the size where you put a bed in the middle of it, and you just kind of, the bed pretty much is the room. Now, if I, and this is the part that's hard to understand.
A Murphy bed would have been a good idea,
right? Maybe one that wasn't built as a death trap. Thanks, Grandpa, by the way, if you're watching. That was fun.
Hey, you don't gotta tell me.
So, quick story. She had this Murphy bed that her grandfather had like rigged up,
literally built in under the tile.
And it was like, basically this is the reason why they have regulations on furniture nowadays, because this thing was like, I'm lucky I didn't lose an arm.
I'm lucky I didn't lose a foot.
She's lucky she didn't lose an ankle. So this basically, we were taking this thing apart and it in the spring loaded contraption that would have the thing drop down, just unloaded all at once, unexpectedly, and collapsed. And luckily my arm wasn't in there where I just had it not too far before that, trying to undo something, and caught her foot under it, or her back of her ankle. So it was like this, pretty
sharp
piece of metal that.
Luckily I was wearing these. He's like, you should have been wearing
luckily she was wearing
boots.
her UGG slippers.
No, but the thing is, they're cushioned. I'm being dead serious right now. If you would have
had actual boots on, you wouldn't have.
No, this is hard.
Let me see. Yes, it's got a little stiffness to it, but they're UGG slippers.
Anyway, that's beside the point.
Show the camera your UGG slippers. I keep telling her to, when we're doing something, working on a property, whatever.
I told her to buy me some steel toes.
She's her version of boots is UGG slipper boots.
If I would have been wearing any other boots, it wouldn't have been pretty. Anyway, that's beside the point.
Moving on. So, all right. So, she's got this fairly small unit, but I mean,
it's just a studio.
$1,000 a month. $1,000 a month, utilities included. Man, if I was single or whatever, I would moving in. I would totally live in that. It's totally efficient. You save money. What else you need?
It's literally.
And then on the flip side,
perfect.
I have this 4-bedroom,
3-bathroom,
2,000 something 3-bathroom, 2-car behemoth of a house that
is
it's
high.
the top range of the rental market up where it is in Running Springs, and I'm having. Well, I mean, we are having two opposite problems though. And this is why we were talking about the other day, is I know for a fact mine's a price thing, because I'm not getting a ton of interest. I'm getting very little, even less showings. I've had 3 showings that it's been listed for 40 days. I've had 3 showings and maybe 10 people that have been interested. That to me screams price. It's just too much. It's just too much. We're at the top of the market, and it's not.
You're not even getting the messages. Or whatever.
Exactly. If it and it's old dated finishes, and even though it's a nice big house and could fit a lot of people,
it's not as modern.
It's it was built in the 80s and it's pretty much everything original. Okay, so that one screams me the price. Now yours, on the other hand, as you have had how many show or interests?
Thousands. Unfortunately,
at least hundreds of.
I'm hitting 1,000. messages. Showings probably like 50 to 150 showings. I can go
And
back
we did
and all my
approve
appointments.
a new resident, and he unfortunately just kind of
Didn't follow through.
Didn't really, you know, it was like you're chasing him for information.
I don't want a resident
and at that
like
point,
that.
like, you know, you don't think he really wants to live there.
I don't need that.
You know, again, it's just like, you know, you're right here, dude. Like he did the income verification, he did the whole thing, and then
I even called his reference checks.
And then
I said I need the deposit by this day. He never got back to me. I'm not going to follow up with someone like that because I can't be chasing. Oh, by the way, my other tenant, he actually got a renter's policy, so
cool.
That was cool.
Cool.
Side note.
Nice. So
yeah.
You know, so that, you know, that's what we were talking about the other night was like, you've had that many inquiries, that many, it's not a price thing. You are priced.
No, it's probably a size thing. And
it's
size, you know?
I don't know. I mean, I think there's something there that we're missing. And I know we've
I asked people for feedback, and they said, oh, it's a long, windy road up. And
that is, I mean, it is in the back of the,
it's in the back of, it's in the boondocks. It's literally right against the national forest. So.
She's in like, if there's CPP, there's like CPPPP, and you're like the last P.
I am 2 houses away from the national forest.
Yeah,
so.
you're at the very back.
But
that wasn't a problem for the main house. Yeah, I mean, you rented that out like, you know, you rented that out like
I think maybe that's also a factor, is that it is the lower unit, and people are like, oh, does someone live there? Or
no, I mean look, I have other places that have a lower unit just like yours, and nobody, I mean, not nobody, but that's not what's stopping it. 50 to 100 showings, like.
Yeah, so we're trying to do some.
You know, there's something that's there's something we're missing. You know, you got to kind of walk under walk under the deck and kind of, you know, it's got enough clearance, but barely. You know, so we're looking at that.
I just put like another concrete pad on the back.
Yeah, so
there's another walkway, but maybe it's the long walkway. Maybe it's going down that side instead of the other side. Maybe.
You know, yeah. When we did it all, you know, we were way, you know, already over budget, over a strict budget. So it was like, kind of had to leave some quirkiness in there about how to get into it. But it's you walk around the cement side of the building and, you know, and then I mean, you know, I don't know, maybe look at having some pavers like you originally wanted to do, you know, down into it, but that's not cheap.
What did you just say? Like I
never said it was a bad idea. I said you don't have the money for it.
Yeah, but now if I'm gonna spend on the concrete pad, it's the same difference.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that big of a deal that it wasn't like the, you know, like that the entrance had it. I mean, it's not like it's hard to get to. You know, you walk around the other side of the house, and then like it is what it is. For $1,000 a month, it is what it is. Like, you know, I just didn't think that. So but the location, you know, we've talked about that. Like it is a little bit further back there, but
yeah,
you know, we'll figure it out.
Excuse me. I have like people messaging me like, oh my God, I want this place so bad. Like one guy just messaged me, I'll apply before even seeing it and stuff. So I don't know. I really don't know.
You know, yeah, it's
I really don't know. I really don't know.
It's just small. You know, that's the thing. It's like it looks nice in pictures, and it is nice. It's tiny. You know, but it's not unworkable, like unlivable tiny. It's 300 square feet. Like
they need to go to Japan and see how they live.
I know,
there.
right? Yeah, it's great. I mean, I stayed in.
It's like 4 times.
My apartment in Hong Kong was like 75 square feet. Like
it's 4 times.
It was literally like the shower was the toilet. Like, you know, I'm not kidding you. Our bathroom in our RV was bigger than the bathroom that I had in Hong Kong.
Wow.
Like, it was. They live, you know, very
minimalist,
very minimally there.
Yeah.
But, you know, so it's just you know, so anyways, like, you know, just trying to get these things rented out, but you know,
it's all learning.
It's just tough. You know, it's one of those battles because it's like, you know, you drop it $200 a month, you know, because at this point, if you would have rented it out,
At a
you
lower
and me would have
price.
rented it out, 3-4 months ago at even $500 less. We'd be ahead today.
Yeah,
But you don't know that, when you start off. So
yeah, we'll see how it goes. Like you said, it's probably not a price thing. It's just probably
Yeah.
something else. So even if I drop the price and
yeah,
still doesn't
every
rent,
single person
I don't
that
wanna dig
said
myself.
no, that like seemed excited or qualified, like I'd be going back to them and saying, hey, like, why didn't you want this place? And just be honest, I'm having a hard time renting it and I'm trying to figure it out. Like, just be honest. I'd appreciate it, and because we can't do anything about the road.
that's what I told the lady.
we can't do anything
I
about
said
the
that's out of
location.
my control.
But if that's really it, like if that's really it, though, okay, then it's still, then you got to keep dropping the price. But like if it's something to do with the house itself, like that we can fix, then we'll fix it. We also, it was a while before we took out the Murphy bed. We went through a lot of showings there. So we'll see. Anyways.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Anyway, it's just learning lessons and yeah.
Yep. So
we learn as we go.
Right. I mean, this is what we talk about this stuff. If you're ever interested and you want to learn more about rentals, we do a fire focus event. Fair Lane runs that one on the first Wednesday
Of every month.
of every single month here at the fire center from 6 to 9. So, this is what we talk about. We talk about, it's probably something like this would probably be a good conversation for one of them, but, finding and holding, residents and just rental strategies in general and, just struggles. I mean, struggles like this that you don't really anticipate. I mean, we really thought that both of these units would go fairly quick, and they're not, because most of ours really do. We have kind of like a bread and butter kind of sweet spot there, whereas we're about like 15 to
25.
15 to like 1,700, 15 to 1,800 for rent with utilities included for like 500 square foot units, 500 to 800 square foot units, and they go pretty quick. So we kind of stepped out of our lane on these two, and just playing a little catch up. So, but it's all good. We'll get it. We'll get them. So,
See how it goes.
Yeah. Still no eye on your phone there, huh? So
I don't know.
and she's like longing,
I
looking out the window.
saw a truck like drive by earlier, but
Well, we'll check. They said 12:30 to like 2:30. So got another hour. And then we'll start, getting in the car, hunting down some FedEx people. So, like, you got my phone? So, but yeah. So what else do we got going on at the? What are you most excited for coming up in the club? What are we doing? What are we doing next week?
Oh yeah, so we're going on a cruise in
She's not excited.
2 weeks. I'm excited. I just haven't really had any time to be excited. Yeah, so like this FIREfast Boot Camp is literally taking our entire lives up right now. Mm-hmm. We're luckily going to visit family this weekend, so that'll be really nice. Yep. And yeah, that's what happens when your boyfriend's the instructor and owns the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club. I'm very, very, very lucky. I'm very blessed. I have met amazing people. I wouldn't be here without him, and truly just appreciate all the advice and help with the rentals, like you said.
Yeah.
So
where are we going on this cruise, though?
We are going to Ensenada, Mexico, and
Ensenada, Mexico.
I've been practicing my Spanish, and
well, you get to practice it a little bit for about the 5 hours we're going to be in Ensenada.
Yep, and he's not buying the Wi-Fi package, so we're going to be unreachable.
Yep, for 4 days. 4 days.
No, yeah. So
this is our first. How many people going on? It's the first one. Yeah?
It's our first cruise as the club, and it's only my second in my entire life. Mm-hmm. So we got like 30 to 35 people going. A lot of people bought tickets last minute and just joined, and that was cool. I didn't even know it was possible.
Yeah.
So you still might be able to. They didn't
get the group package rate, but they were able to get into the group.
Yeah.
So
we're just, anticipating that. We're going to be sending out an email, some little itinerary, and make sure you just don't forget your passport. Yeah. And
so where should we go on this? So we did this. We did a cruise with the Investor Addicts group on the East Coast. We left from Florida and went to like the Bahamas and stuff.
That was awesome.
Like 10 days or
14? 7 days.
Was it 7?
Yeah,
I thought it was longer.
7. We were in Miami for 2. And
Oh, that's why.
7-day
Okay,
cruise.
so we really, really liked it. It was a great time. We had speakers and people like the
Great
at sea
network.
days.
Yeah.
Had speakers and stuff like that, and a lot of great networking with people.
I
that
met people that
hadn't really met ever before.
Yeah, that will stay in contact.
but we,
met Adrian on that cruise.
Yeah, I'd met Adrian before, but
that was me.
But yeah,
met Rich Lennon.
Yeah, Rich and
Mike Hicks. A lot of people. Peggy. Everybody.
Excuse me. Yeah, so
Jerry Ritchie, we saw again at Masters. Just you just run into people that Anyway.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So so we decided to do our own this year, and unfortunately it lined up with the same week that the Vesser cruise, the other Vesser Addicts one was on. We didn't really plan that. It was
we'll
just
be missing Andy.
So yeah, Andy was like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "Dude, I didn't know." And by the time I already had booked it and announced it, it was too late. So
hey, it's our first rodeo.
It's our first one. We really just wanted to do like a quick 4-day. Just kind of quick getaway. It's usually like kind of the in SoCal here. It's usually like the 4-day Ensenada cruise is like the party cruise. So,
hey man, it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. We're gonna do 2 days of just like kind of like round table, little like mini mastermind kind of thing. With me, Evan, Goodwin, Jeremy, and Mark
Pantic,
heading up the this kind of the speaker list. So we're gonna do that 2 days. And then next year, we're definitely planning something next year. I was looking at some of the things we were just talking about it. Yeah. So we're gonna either or. I think one's good, but I don't mind doing 2. Maybe we'll put one towards the end of 2025. But I definitely want to go to Alaska. I've ever since I'm it's funny, I'm actually not a huge fan of cruises. I'd rather do something else, but it makes it really easy to get a big group together and not have to do a ton of planning.
Yeah, you just hang out on the boat.
You just kind of let people do their thing on the shore excursions, and then you just so it's a lot easier than trying to say like 30 people going to like Rome or something. Even though that'd be really fun. But really there's cool. I was looking at some of them, and there's so there's like a 7-day down to they do like 4, 7, and 10 or 15 day or whatever cruises down to Mexico. So it's like how far you want to go down and back, which will be cool. And then there's also ones, there's the thing with the going to Alaska though is the Seattle one. You have to leave from Seattle, so people have to get a flight up to Seattle and then get on the cruise and then come back. You got to get a flight back from Seattle as well. So that's a little bit, I wish there was something that went from Los Angeles, but then you'd be just at sea for like 3 days going up the coast. And the California coast, from what I've heard, because I want to go sailing someday, it is beautiful. Yes. But it's actually quite treacherous. Like
it's foggy and stuff.
There's just a lot of currents. There's a lot of weather. There's a lot of, there's actually massive patches of kelp, like kelp forests up the California coast that,
Pacific.
That aren't exactly great for boats with propellers.
I'm sure they've learned something.
I don't know if it really affects cruise ships, but there's got to be a reason that other than maybe there's just not a market for it. But I feel like there would be a market for things leaving from Long Beach go up the coast to San Francisco, but I guess it's also the reason why most people that sail and have sailboats and stuff it's really popular like in the Caribbean, to go sailing, but not so much on the West Coast. You go down to Mexico and then you come back up, but you don't really, because it's actually it's a tough sail. It's tough waters. Anyways, we're getting a little off track, but there was also one that I thought was really cool, was from Seattle to you went across the Pacific and like kind of up towards Alaska, but you didn't hit Alaska, and you came down and ended in Tokyo. And it was like
I want to go on that one.
It was like a 12-day, I think, or 14-day. But it was like, it's like 6 or 7 days at sea, and then you hit like 7 stops or 6 or 7 stops in Japan. Like you just go all the way down Japan, and like in like another 6 days. Like so, it's not like it would be one stop, then a day at sea, one stop, a day at sea, one stop, and a day at sea. It's like you're
Back
you're
to
on the
back.
ship forever, and then it's like boom, 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 boom.
That's
But
doable.
it sounds cool. It sounds cool, and actually the pricing for it wasn't that crazy. It was like $1,000 a person. Like it
I
wasn't,
mean, it's cheaper than flying, getting housing, and then flying back, and then everything else, the
your
food and everything.
for the whole
Everything's
time,
included. I say that's a good idea.
So, but I mean, if if we're looking at that, then why not like a Mediterranean?
I'm down.
I know you are. It's just trying to get 30, 40 other people, to be down also. So
Well,
if you're interested,
we're building
if
it.
you're interested, those of you members out there also that are tuning in, if you're interested in doing a cruise, type in the comments like where you'd want to go.
Give us ideas.
Give
us dates.
If we put something together, like what would be your 1 and 2 top thing? One and two in the comments.
1 and 2.
And we'll see what we can do. Maybe we'll do do a club run to Japan. We'll go check out all those.
That's my number
like
one.
$20,000 Japanese houses that you can buy.
I'm
that
down.
I've been looking at. Maybe not 20, but it was like $50,000-$60,000. You could buy like a house in Japan. We'll do real estate worldwide tours. So
That'd be really cool.
forget out of state. We're going out of country.
We're going out of continent.
Exactly. So
That's funny.
but
Well,
yeah.
great stuff in store. Definitely keep an eye out at the website at IEREIC. I can't even say it.
One more time. Try.
Cut that out. IEREIC.org.
Yep. You can also get on this podcast going to firechatpodcast.com. Again, that's firechatpodcast.com. You can watch all the episodes. You can get on the show with me.
Come
or
check
with
out
Caitlin
these chairs.
If you prefer to come talk to Caitlin, she's our resident co-host,
Hostess.
co-hostess, backup hostess. So, and then we're just doing a bunch of stuff. We got the Fire Center now that we just christened and renamed.
Yes.
The clubhouse too.
Big things
so,
coming.
We're also, if you're looking for event space or, we're starting to we'll host an event for you if you want to put something together and rent out the place for the day. You can check that out at iefirecenter.com. Again, that's iefirecenter.com. So, or just type in IEREIC on Google and you'll just see us all over the place. So, with that, any last thoughts? Should we wrap it up?
No, we're good to go. We're just hanging out on this rainy day.
It is boring. We got like 5 days of rain. We barely escaped Crestline this morning. There was snow on the ground.
It was a little snowy.
It's the first time I've driven my RV in the snow. That was fun.
That woke us up.
Yeah. Anyways, that's a whole nother story.
Anyways.
So, thanks for tuning in, everybody. This has been the Fire Chat Podcast. Again, Rich Rice, your host, and our guest hostess was the mostess, Caitlin Weaver. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for tuning in.
See you soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.